The man with the hair that never moves and the chin that keeps daring someone to knock him out is on the POTUS trail. And though Jeb and others might not seem to be worried, stranger things have happened in American politics. Nothing strange nor unexpected in the latest fallout from Edward Snowden's data dump, as the two most dangerous nations in the world know even more of our secrets. And remember all those Republicans who pledged they would never raise taxes? One group claims they are reneging on the oath. Grover Norquist tells us that's just a big fat left-wing lie. And in telling it like it is, we have the only authorized translation of Hillary Clinton's relaunch speech. Oh, be still your beating heart. Buckle up, I'm Ed Berliner, and this is The Hardline for Tuesday, June 16th, 2015.
When do we beat Mexico at the border? They're laughing at us, at our stupidity. And now they're beating us economically. They are not our friend, believe me. But they're killing us economically. The U.S. has become a dumping ground for everybody else's problems.
We are deeply troubled by the politically motivated sentences that have been handed down against former President Morsi and several others by an Egyptian court today.
The United States of America is under attack. Sophisticated cyber spies, many from foreign countries, are targeting the sensitive personal information of millions of Americans. They are attacking our government, our economy, our financial sector, our healthcare system, and virtually every single aspect of our lives.
I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
America may finally be getting the presidential candidate it deserves, a man unafraid to fire someone for not doing the job, a man who has serious issues with China, seeing as we get about 3/4 of our goods from that country, and who will be able to buy and sell any lobbyist daring to believe they can use cash to influence the most powerful man on earth. We now remove the tongue-in-cheek from some of our various pundits. Let's get to work with the real deal. Leading off with the political animal today, welcoming back the former head of FEMA, now radio talker on KHOW 630 in Denver, Colorado, Michael Brown, along with the senior political contributor at Forbes, also co-host of The Daily Wrap here on Newsmax, weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Rick Ungar. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Rick, let's get right to it. Donald Trump, man of wealth, can't be bought. I know how to fix the economy. Come on, Rick. He's exactly what America wants and deserves, right?
Well, that's obviously true. You only have to ask them, and you know that that's the case. I mean, I've got my headline from my story. Everybody else is terrible except me. It was an enjoyable speech, to say the least. I was actually out in front of the building talking to people on the street to get their take. Listen, we're the big winners. Let's be honest. The media is the big winner in this. We're all going to have a lot of fun with this.
Let's get to that, Mike, because let's face it, Donald Trump will add glamour to the race. He's a celebrity. We don't have to worry about real housewives, real men, real business. He's right there in front of us every single day. It is glamour. America loves that.
It is glamour. And I got to tell you, I was in the car this morning as he made the announcement, and I'm listening to the speech. And I got to tell you, Ed, I think Rick might agree with this. As much as we enjoy it, and it's kind of enjoyable to watch this, and it's entertaining, what he said today worries me, because it will resonate with people, and we could be watching Ross Perot, Bush, and Clinton all over again.
Oh, what do you think, Rick? Got a point?
From Mike's mouth to God's ears. I would like that very much. You know, there was definitely stuff in the speech that was good, except when it got to be an hour and 15 minutes long, I think he had maybe overworn his welcome. But, you know, I don't know what his problem is with Mexico. He really has a problem with Mexico. He wants to build a wall. And by the way, the Mexicans are going to pay for it, he tells us. You know, he's going to be nothing but entertainment. I got to tell you quickly about a woman who I interviewed who she had lots of nice things to say about him. She's a fan. And when I asked her where she formed her opinion, she said, well, I watched The Apprentice. So this is what we've got. We've got our first reality show candidate, and as you said at the beginning, Ed, it may be what America deserves.
And here's a good point, too, because here's the Trumpster, the Donald, I don't know how, the Donaldator, the Trumpinator, whatever you want to call him here at this point. Here he is warning that Obamacare doesn't even really kick in until 2016, blah, 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 of course, when the president's out of office. But here's the great part, says, the president will be playing golf somewhere, maybe even one of my courses. Here's the Donald.
Obamacare really kicks in 2016. Obama is going to be out playing golf. He might even be on one of my courses. I would invite him. I actually would say. I have the best courses in the world, so I'd say, you know what, if he wants to, I have one right next to the White House.
Michael, why don't we just go ahead and put a golf course right on the lawn of the White House?
Don't suggest that, because that's exactly what Trump might do and then charge us to go play. But again, not only is it entertaining, but at some point, look, I'm glad he's proud of his wealth, and I wish we would get over this whole idea that wealth is bad. At least he's saying, look, I'm wealthy and I'm proud of it. I'm not ashamed of it. But at some point, the braggadocio kind of has to go away a little bit. You can't be president. You got to have some diplomacy to be president. And I'm not sure that Donald
that ship
can
has
even
sailed,
say
Michael.
diplomacy.
Wait a minute. I think from Rick's lips to God's ears, that ship has sailed, Mike.
Yeah, I think it's a little too late for him to chill out on the braggadocio.
Way gone on that. All right, let's turn to a couple of issues here now. In Politico, it talks about the GOP rife with tensions over Obamacare, SCOTUS, the response. We've been talking about this before. Now we have Republicans all upset. We're going to get blamed for this. Obamacare gets scuttled. It's going to be our fault. Rick, they've had a chance. They've had choices. They've had time to tell us where they're going and to get ready. It just doesn't seem like anybody. It's like you have two Republicans in a room. What's your plan? Oh, I don't know. What's your plan? What do you think? What are you going to do? It seems like that's where we're going with this.
Well, I think they actually have a plan, and I'll give it to you in brief. I think the actual plan is to simply continue the subsidies through 2017 to buy some time through the election, but not to offer it to people who are newly enrolling and to do away with companies' obligations under the law. That's their plan. The problem that they've got, however, is that you've got presidential candidates like Ted Cruz, who, as a senator, can hold up everything, and it's not in his presidential candidacy interest to do anything but say, scuttle it all right now. So yes, it is indeed the Republicans who are stressing out the most over this possible Supreme Court decision.
So, Michael, how do we then figure out who wins and who loses in this? Because Rick makes a very good point. You've got Ted Cruz and others saying, if you try to extend Obamacare, we're going to fight you tooth and nail. And this, once again, comes down to the Republicans infighting. Here we go again, which is not good when you have an election.
Absolutely true. And I got to tell you, once again, I mean, it just drives me nuts. But Rick is right. Having watched D.C. from inside the belly of the beast for 6 years, it just bumfuzzles me that we're still sitting here. They haven't put forth a plan. They have put themselves in this position. And whether they have a plan or not, they are the ones that came to us in the last midterm elections and said, vote for us because we'll repeal Obamacare, we'll replace it with something that actually works. And what have they done in those months since then? Nothing. So they only have themselves to blame for this, and it's one thing that drives me nuts about the Republican Party.
By the way, if you say you agree with Rick one more time, the four horsemen of the apocalypse will be coming over the hill.
I know.
You have to be very careful.
I got to add one thing quickly, too. They have another problem. They understand what I understand, which is you cannot offer people with pre-existing conditions insurance unless you have mandated coverage. Nobody in the history of time has been able to figure out another way to do it. They know it. And they know they face a huge problem. They won't just be cutting off people who've been getting the subsidies to pay for their insurance. They'll be cutting off people who have finally been able to get health insurance who have pre-existing conditions, and they know it. It's one thing to criticize. It's another thing when it's on you to make it happen.
And we will leave it there. Gentlemen, Rick Ungar, Michael Brown, always a pleasure. Careful for those agreeing with Rick Ungar. We are in big trouble. Thanks a lot, guys.
Amen.
Talk to you again real soon.
Amen.
All right, here comes the question now for you. Who are you supporting in the Republican primary? Tell us online. Newsmax Republican primary poll. You vote online today at newsmaxpolls.com. That is newsmaxpolls.com. Tell us who's got your vote. We're going to tell you about what's coming up right here on the fastest 60 minutes of news. Colonel Derek Harvey talking about spies, the United Kingdom, and the fallout from Edward Snowden. There's more. Grover Norquist has a message for those on the left who say that Republicans are no longer part of the pledge. And Peter Morisi is here to talk about the death of the middle class. Coming up right here on The Hardline.